Thank you for joining us for Toy Fair University. Next up, we have Beyond Entertainment, designing toys to meet the growing demand for skill, creative, and social play. Happy to introduce Adam Woodgate from the Insights family. Adam?
And thank you very much. And thank you for joining me. And I hope the next 20 minutes, you're going to learn some stuff. There's some data in the presentation. Feel free to photograph the slides. I know I do when I'm in conferences. But I put a QR code at the end, and you can have the whole deck. So no problem at all. So I'm Adam Woodgate. I head up research for the Insight family, which is a UK-based business. I'll tell you a bit more about us in a second. So here we go. Let's see what we've got to go through today. There we go. OK. So I'm old now. When I started in this industry 35 years ago, I didn't need these. I do. So when we ask kids open-ended questions, and we don't ask them multiple choice questions, we want to understand what they really think. So when we ask kids to tell us what they think about play and toys and so forth, something consistent happens. They don't talk about toys as products. They talk, or brands, they talk about the outcomes that toys give them. So they're not saying, I need new toys. Toys entertain me. What they're saying in their own words is the live TV, folks. There we go. Oh. That's the one. What they talk about actions and outcomes and time spent, or the people that they're playing their toys with. Toys don't win by being desirable objects. They win by being useful tools for play. So, who are we? We're the Insights family, and we have 2 continuous touch points in 22 countries with kids and families. We have a survey of kids, 3 to 18, done by online with parents' permission, and then we have a survey of parents. Most of the data that I'll share with you is the kids, but there's one slide that's parents. And what we're trying to get is the child's perspective. We want to be the voice of the child. We're not competing with sales data, we're not competing with EPOS data, we're not competing with TV ratings or analytics. We're adding the child's perspective to the information and insight that you guys have. We look at the devices, we look at what they care about, how they discover content, and how play fits into their lives. So when we say kids don't navigate by the toy aisle, we really mean what we say. They navigate by the outcome that they're looking for toys to give them. And how do we know that? Because kids have told us in their own words. So when I was a kid in the 70s, this was play, traditional. And this isn't about good play or bad play. It's about how play was consumed and what kids were trained to expect at the time. So play was given, not chosen. And screens haven't replaced toys. They've just reset the expectations about what toys deliver. So this isn't about nostalgia versus progress. I'm not harking back to a better time. We are where we're at. The toys kids value now aren't the ones that entertain them. They're the ones that let them build skills, express their creativity, and connect socially. So what is modern play? Well, firstly, skills development. It's about progress and mastery and problem solving. Then it's about creative expression, playing and sharing and community and belonging. And thirdly, social connection. Sorry, creative expression in making, building, remixing, authorship. Social connection is playing, sharing, and community and belonging. Every strong signal we see in kids' conversations fits into one or more of these. To understand why these pillars matter so much, we need to look at what has trained kids' expectations. So our first data slide. So I've just taken one of the questions that we have in the data, which is the amount of time kids say they spend playing with toys, the physical product, and playing with games. Now, we asked them a whole raft of other things, but I've just zeroed in on these things. And you can see at the top the weekday picture, the bottom the weekend. No surprise, with no school, kids have more time. They've got more time to play. Now, screens don't win because they're screens or they're digital. They win because they deliver all three pillars consistently. They deliver skill development, creative expression, and social connection. And you can see something I've been saying as I've talked to people on stands today, that actually, for a good portion of a kid's life, physical play with toys outweighs screen play. So you can see, certainly for preschool, certainly for middle grades, well, it's competing with middle grades, and on a weekend, it's nudging ahead. And still, when we look at preteens and teens, they're still playing with physical toys. It's still part of their lives. And there's lots of reasons why they do it. So, we don't ask kids why they want toys. Kids are not great at rationalizing motivation. But in our data, which is all generated through open-ended responses, in other words, we're not telling kids to tick against words we've selected. We want kids to tell us what they want us to know, not confirm what we already know. So we look at what they chose to talk about in our data, particularly when referencing play or toys or anything in that area. And when you analyze the language, the verbs, the outcomes, and the context, the motivation becomes very clear. And you can see it here, down the left-hand side. Social connection is the strongest underlying driver of play. If you ever look at kids collaborate, outdoors, indoors, you'll see that social connectivity. Can we build this together? Help me. You hold that, I'll do this. The fun gets kids through the door. Without fun, why are they going to play? But skill and mastery are the things that keep them there. That open-ended play. Can I make it bigger? Can I make it taller? Can I try that version that's aimed at someone a little bit older than me? That's the three things that really drive them in. Now, let's look at what parents tell us. Parents see toys as investments in development. They're not just entertainment purchases. Value perception shifts when toys combine multiple benefits. So in other words, if a toy is creative and educational, that's valuable. And durability and replay matter. Parents want toys that grow with their child. So parents tell us they're buying toys that are fun, support learning, and feel affordable or worth the money that they're spending on them. And kids, meanwhile, are drawn to play that's social, that's fun, that helps them learn skills. And these are not competing priorities, they're overlapping ones. And the sweet spot is play that's fun because it builds social skills, it builds social connection, and builds long-term value. Now we understand where kids' desire and parents' permission overlap, the design challenge becomes clearer. The toys that win in that sweet spot tend to do three things very well. So, a lovely researcher chart for you. Based on open-ended responses, these are the top 20 toys and toy brands that kids told us they love or like. So we've netted those together in a 3-month period in the run-up from the 1st of October to the 31st of December. Now, you can probably analyze that, look at the brands and go, well, I'm not surprised with anything there. But when we start thinking about play, as opposed to categories or just brands, we can see the types of toys that are showing through, and I've color-coded them. Purple for construction systems. I'm a bit colorblind, so that greeny blue color for role-play worlds. Collectibles and figurines in the kind of coral color, I think it is. Yellow for arts and crafts. And that's only the top 20. In that 3-month period, I think we had about 378 different toys and toy brands named. And so when we analyze this for all the responses collected in those months, so just under 400, and following the same taxonomy that I put on the previous page, we can see that 3/5 of the responses fall into construction systems, role-play worlds, collectibles or figurines. There's about 6% that come into arts and crafts, and then roughly 1/3 that you can't put into a play taxonomy, and I'll explain why I'm saying that in a minute. Now, a couple of other things we need to focus on. you'll notice Nintendo and PlayStation are on the list. Now, kids don't distinguish between physical toys and gaming devices. To a kid, it's all play equipment. Kids don't say, I like technology, I like devices. It never comes up. They say, I like challenges, I like games, I like building bigger things. And the toy industry's competition isn't just one another. Remember, in a kid's world, and I've been saying this for a long, long time, they're not like adults. They don't silo. It's not reading time and book time, reading time and TV time and social time. It's everything is in competition with everything else. So they'll easily go from playing a game to playing a toy to watching a TV show. No problem at all. Everything is in competition with everything. Now, I mentioned Nintendo, mentioned PlayStation. So tech isn't a fifth category that we've overlooked. And whether it's screens or consoles, what tech does is it changes how play is experienced, but not what play is. So for example, construction systems can have smart components or app-linked challenges. Role-play worlds can add digital storytelling or hybrid narratives. Collectibles, you can have digital extensions, you can have tracking, you can have progression. Strategy games, the rules can be adaptive. You could have rules, the same game can have rules that are more complex for a teenager than a middle grader. So kids don't experience technology as a category, they experience it as something that makes play more responsive, more social, or more rewarding. Now let me come back to that 34% that I put on the end. Some of the strongest toys and toy brands don't sit neatly in one category, even one play category. If we take Hot Wheels, it bridges role play and construction. It isn't just toy cars, it's track building, experimentation, problem solving, optimization, faster, bigger, larger. Does it work? Doesn't it work? Are they coming off the track? How do I fix that? So it delivers skills and mastery in designing the track and the layout. Creative expression, because you don't have to follow the plan on the box or on the instruction guide. You can do what you want with the pieces of track. And thus Hot Wheels behaves much more like a construction system than it does a construction system with a narrative skin. If we take other examples like Nerf, Nerf is interesting. It looks like a category, but behaves like a system. Nerf supports group play, rule-making, team dynamics, competition, cooperation. It delivers physical skills, social negotiation, and shared experiences. Nerf isn't about the blaster. It's about the game kids build around it. I could go on. Minecraft toys, come and talk to me at the end on the side. We've got lots of examples of this kind of thing. I think stuffed animals is the one I'll just zero in on, because I think, we go, they're a comfort blanket. And yes, they are. But kids use them as characters in stories, in telling stories between one another, in narrative play. So they satisfy the creative expression, the social emotional development, and calm, safe engagement. And they always have a favorite, one that's always they go back to. Slime, also art and creative expression. It's used for making, mixing, modifying, sensory experimentation, sharing creations. So you can see that lots of toys that sit across these multiple categories are doing, they're appealing to different need states and mood states that kids have. So when you strip away all the packaging, the toys kids love the most fall into a small number of play systems, and every one of them rewards skills, creativity, or social play. The toys kids value are the ones that move between play modes. So when you're designing, flexibility is a bonus. It's a design advantage. And what we consistently see in the data is that the successful toys don't just do one of these things. They usually deliver two, and if they can, three things. Skills matter when they feel earned, not instructional. Kids want mastery without feeling that they're sitting in the classroom listening to the sage on the stage. Creativity and social play are what extend the life of a toy. They're the difference between something that's played once and put back in the box and never to be seen again, and something that kids keep coming back to. And I say this because kids and parents, I've already tried to show, aren't in conflict when it comes to play. They're just using different language to describe the same value. Kids lead with excitement and challenge. Parents look for development, balance, and longevity. And this is where lots of toys struggle. They choose which audience to talk to instead of designing for both audiences from the start. So price resistance isn't usually about cost. It's whether from a parent's perspective or the gift buyer, the toy buyer, sees clear value sustained over time. Longevity is critical. Toys that grow with a child or work across ages naturally feel more worth it. Nothing worse from a parent than seeing the kid play with it, get bored, put it in the cupboard, and it never comes out again. Parents are comfortable paying more when they can clearly see the outcomes, skills or creativity or social development, and not just the features of the product. So, in summing up, kids don't always tell you what they want, but their behavior and language show it very clearly. Parents buy confidence, value, and outcomes. So you need to focus on not just what parents are buying and kids are playing with, but the why and the how and what it means next. The brands that win, the toys that win, the products that win are the ones that recognize these patterns early and design around them. Because in a world where play is chosen, not given, insight is what keeps you relevant. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you'd like to carry on the conversation, I'll be over at the couches. Would love to talk more. It's my world. There's the QR code. That will give you access to the presentation. And I thank you for your time and hope you have a wonderful toy fair. I hope it's successful and you achieve everything you want.